we've seen quite a drop on Thursday, as we expected, as we enter into the night now. Prices are rising. I predicted that I could see another drop on Friday once the promo comes out, because you've got all these people saving their marquee matchup rewards, saving their division rival rewards, and you've obviously got the people opening FIFA points as well. But as we exit the weekend league, that's when we should see a big rise in the market. So we've got to scout out the players that we need to pick up. I've got 2 million coins liquid, and I'll be damned if I don't do something with them. But to start today's video, we've actually got a couple of packs that we got for qualifying for FUT Champs. I actually went 5-1, putting up some good performances this year. This is a 2 rare players pack. We ended up getting Nicolas Pepe, who at the beginning of the year, you would think this kind of guy would be expensive. 88 pace, 83 dribbling, decent shooting and passing in the Premier League. Well, not so much. Cards like that have dropped a ton over the course of the first 2 weeks. And we're not seeing that era of FIFA where you've got these, low-rated cards that are really, really usable, apart from a select few of them, of course. But all 3 of these are tradable. We'll start with the crappy one, which is just 1 gold rare player, along with the rest of the pack being non-rares. It's not going to be a board drop, so I'll skip it. I actually did just pack Upamecano untradable, though, so not as cool as getting him tradable. Let's go ahead and open the good packs now. The ones we play for. And I actually ended up giving away on my last 3 games as wins. I've never been good enough to do that before, but I actually gave away the games, my last 3 qualifier games, for free wins to whoever I came up against. So hopefully that helps somebody out. It's a good feeling. Feels good, man, because I've never been good enough to do that before. But today, we actually did it. We actually gave away some free wins. Hopefully that brings some good karma. Huh? Oh my God, I thought that was Bruno. It's Bernardo Silva in a walkout. Dude, that took so long for it to walk out. I saw all the flares. I thought it was a walkout, but then nothing walked out. So I actually kind of thought it was just a board drop. Bernardo Silva's only 11K. I honestly thought that was Bruno, which would have been much more expensive. Let's go ahead and see what Bruno goes for. Yeah, 121K versus just 11K. I guess I'll take that 11K. Definitely better than nothing. But it's not Bruno, unfortunately. When it comes to trading with the Road to the Final cards, we're going to have to see a lot about what the cards look like, who the players are, but generally, what we're expecting, and what I'm expecting is, at the first hour or 2, we could see them get pretty low in price because of all the packs that have been saved by people from, whether it's marquee matchups from SBCs, or maybe it's the division rival rewards that they just received earlier today, or it's the FUT Champions playoff rewards that everybody has picked up within the last 24 hours. It's not hard to hold those packs until the new promo, unless you're completely impatient like I am and want to open all the packs right when you get them. But a lot of people have saved them, which means that the biggest wave of supply for those new cards are going to be right at 6 p.m. UK to 7 p.m. UK, right when content drops, right when those new cards are in packs, because that's when everybody's going to open their packs and list them on the market, get their coins, and we're going to be able to snatch some and hopefully flip them overnight that same night. We won't want to hold those until the end of the weekend, because what we're seeing is a drop in price on pretty much everything else on the market, and it's probably going to include those cards. As people get their weekend league rewards, that's going to add a little bit of supply, and as they're on the game for a little bit longer, generally the price will get lower. Now, there's obviously exceptions to that, and we'll see how much supply EA end up dropping for this new promo. Are they going to do a daily SBC that gives us even more supply? Are they going to do any sort of promo packs for FIFA point openers? Is that going to have an impact on the market? Definitely all things to consider. But if we take a look at the current team of the week, guys, and we kind of step away from the road to the knockouts, and I say road to the finals sometimes on accident because the promo is just so similar, but road to the knockout cards, we'll step away from that for a second. We'll look at this Team of the Week, and we'll generally see these cards have not dropped a ton yet. We saw some saved packs till Wednesday. A lot of the people saved their packs from the Team of the Week guaranteed packs from Weekend League, and we saw a huge drop on these cards right at 6 p.m. UK on Wednesday, and they actually got down really low in the first 30 minutes. And what we saw in previous weeks is they stayed lower, got lower, but this week we saw them recover a little bit just because that supply was overwhelming right away. It didn't take a while like it had in previous weeks. They add so much supply to the people saving their Weekend League rewards. And that's why it happened this week like it did. And that's a very similar concept to what I just explained for the Road to the Knockout cards, where I think those cards will have an overwhelming amount of supply early on, and you'll be able to flip those in to the night. So that's something to consider. But we're already seeing a slight drop on these cards. Rafinha was like 89K. He's down to like 82. They're dropping a little bit, nothing significant. I think Hernandez might actually be slightly up in price. So even though we've seen a little bit of supply from marquee matchups, it didn't hit as hard as previous weeks. One of the reasons is people might have been a little bit more prepared, ready to buy. Two, and I think this is the main reason, people just didn't open their packs yet. They're saving them. So all of that supply is going to hit later today. So if you're looking for one of these Team of the Week cards, hold out at least until later today on Friday, if not till the end of the weekend or sometime on Saturday, because that's when we saw the lowest point of last week, and then they started to rise on Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday. They continued to go up, so that is kind of our buy time, and I think Friday might end up being a great time to buy. You might end up getting in a little bit early, and I wouldn't suggest panic buying. If you see a card start to rise on Friday really quickly, don't just buy that card randomly because it's rising. Give it time to fluctuate back down and then get in on that next dip. Never panic buy when a card's going up quickly. It'll always come down, at least fluctuate down at some point for you. And you can get in on that dip and be a lot more comfortable knowing you're going to make profit rather than just buying into the hype. You generally want to sell into the hype, so don't panic buy. So for these cards, I'm looking at Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. And what we see, guys, for gold cards, is they become more obsolete as the game goes on. There's obviously going to be cards that make it to end game if you had them, even though, you know, they're going to get a lot of upgrades like Mbappe, Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo. All those gold cards are obviously going to be sort of end game cards, if you will, but they're going to end up getting upgrades, which will make them a little bit less relevant. They'll become obsolete as the game goes on. And that happens a lot more for the lesser meta cards. Anything in this team that I can use as an example, well, you can use the direct examples of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic and Koulibaly. Well, Milinkovic-Savic just got an inform, so a lot of people that have Savic are looking to upgrade. And they'll sell that gold card, they'll upgrade to the inform. And for Koulibaly, he got an SBC, so a lot of people will sell the 86, and this already happened. They'll sell the 86, and then they'll get the 88 SBC, and the 86 will crash in price. And so as we get farther into the game, you know, the Theo Hernandez that comes out might make Spinazzola a little bit less relevant, a little bit more obsolete, and people will want to upgrade to Theo Hernandez. Or maybe if you know, Barella came out and possibly Mkhitaryan dropped in price, and I think he did actually drop that week. I can't guarantee that was the exact reason, but I can guarantee it didn't help. And same thing for Dybala and all of these cards. If there's as we get further into the game, if there's a card that comes out that's very similar in terms of links, league, nation, and position as another card, and it's attainable to you, and it's better than the cards that are currently in the game, these gold cards will become less relevant. And that's why they'll continue to drop in price. So if we see a card that's like, you know, a Delort striker, that's a road to the final card, which is probably not going to happen. I don't actually even know if Delort's team is in any of these competitions. But if we hypothetically saw him get an upgrade or an SBC, well, then Ben Yedder, that's kind of threatening his price a little bit because, well, now you have another mediocre option at striker in that league, right? Because you don't really have anything else right now. It's just Ben Yedder, and then your next step is Mbappe, which is so much more expensive than most people can afford. So they just are stuck with Ben Yedder. But if there was another option, Ben Yedder would crash in price because of that option. So you've got to look out for that when these new promos drop. So at 6 p.m. UK, you might see some cards drop pretty significantly if there are new options with the road to the knockouts. Another thing is attainability. Are the road to the knockout cards great? and they're super expensive, then maybe not. If they're not in the same price range, then it's not going to have too much of an impact on the card. A new Messi is not going to have an impact on Christian Portu. It's a completely different type of card. You need a similar sort of price range for them to have an impact on that card. Another thing to look out for this weekend, guys, a reminder, mostly ones to watch. Ones to watch is going to be back for league play, and it's also going to combine with a couple of the international matches if a player scores a goal at all. And I believe that Erling Haaland should be back from injury this week, so Daniel Mellon would be moving back to left wing. I think Reina is still injured, so I don't believe he'll be playing either. I think Daniel Mellon will be on the left wing, which, I mean, he can score from there. He's had a lot of opportunities, although he has only scored from striker so far for Dortmund, and that was in UCL. He's still been very, very dangerous. He's gotten a lot of minutes. He's kind of cemented himself into that starting 11. And if he scores one single goal, you can easily see this kind of card go from 23 to 30,000 coins in maybe, 90 to 120 seconds. It will skyrocket in price. So you've got to probably set up some alerts, maybe get the apps like OneFootball or the ESPN FC app and get live updates for either these players or the teams that they play for. And you can easily go pick up those cards really quickly. I know that Jake Futt Trading suggested get some of the betting apps because they update fast as hell, and you can get those updates before most people. You don't even have to bet on them. That's not what I'm promoting. I'm just saying if you get those apps, they generally update in like almost real time. So you can get in on it, because if you're watching a stream that's 2 minutes behind, well, you've probably already missed the first wave of profit, and you want to make sure you get in on that. And I think a lot of people might end up buying these cards slightly before the games start. So if you are looking to sell off some of these cards, then that would be a good time to do so, is right before that game. And I wouldn't generally hold these cards throughout a game unless you have a ton of faith on him, because at that point you're just gambling on a card, and gambling on him to do well, which is why a lot of people like to gamble with these ones to watch cards, and it'll work out every now and then. But generally, unless you're getting these cards for their cheapest price and then holding them for a full week until their next game, you're spending a premium on those cards right before the games start. So you don't want to buy these guys right before their games start, because that's normally when they're the highest, and then they're the lowest after their games 95% of the time. The other 5% of the time is when they have 2 goals and they actually have a shout at Team of the Week, which generally only 0 to 3 or 4 maximum ones to watch cards end up having a shout at Team of the Week each week. And normally it's like 1 to 2 cards. 1 to 2 ones to watch normally have a shout at Team of the Week, and those cards are the 5% that will stay up in price. But there's so many different ones to watch cards, and especially if it's a defender, if they get scored on and they don't have a goal or an assist or anything, which is most games, they're not even going to have a shout, and they can hold a clean sheet most games, and unless they get a goal or an assist in that same game, then they're probably not going to get into Team of the Week either. Realistically, the cards that you want to pick up for hype are going to be forwards, because you can capitalize on whenever they score and they go up in price because they scored a goal. People will panic buy that card right after they score the goal, and you just got to get in quicker. It's just a matter of being the first one to buy, because if you are a little bit late, you've already missed your opportunity. Jadon Sancho is an interesting one, guys, because Jadon Sancho, despite the fact that he's not gotten a lot of game time, Ole kind of prefers Greenwood over him so far this season. He went up to 190,000 coins after he got a shout at getting into Team of the Week, and then he didn't end up doing so from the international play with England. He actually went up to 210 something K. He dropped down to 155 after he didn't get in, so all the panic selling begun. And if you didn't sell into the hype, then you took that risk and you deserve what you got in the end. But now he's down to 144, and I've still heard of a lot of people who picked him up at 150 to 155 during that first drop, and now they're looking at him who has continued to drop in price. He's down to 143,000 coins now, so he's continued to go down. I think people who tried to get at the dip bought still too early. So now we've got more investors with Sancho on their transfer list, and he's continued to go down, and I think there's a little bit more supply for him. But if he does get the start for Manchester United, I could see him spike. Just getting a start for Man U could be enough to get him to spike back up. So if you're holding on to one right now, maybe you screwed up. I would wait and see if he gets a start for Man U and get in on that spike on Sancho, because right now most people aren't expecting him to start, which is probably why he is continuing to drop in price. Anyways, guys, we covered a lot in today's video. If you have any questions, let me know, and hopefully you guys ended up enjoying today's video. If you did, let's shoot for 500 likes on today's video. That would be absolutely amazing. And subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you made it to the end of today's video, go ahead and comment down peanuts in the comment section below. That's how I'll know who made it to the end of the video, and I'll make sure to heart all of your comments with the word peanuts in it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace out.